Silent Spring, Rachel Carson, who was born in the year 1907 and who died in 1964. Rachel Carson, an American biologist, writer, and conservationist, with her sea trilogy, explored the whole of ocean life from the shores to the depths. In the late 1950s, she turned her attention to conservation and came out with Silent Spring in 1962 that dealt with the problems caused by synthetic pesticides and the ways and means to solve those problems. Actually, this book brought environmental concerns to the American public, and that led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) in 1970s. Thus, Silent Spring sparked the global grassroots environmental movement in 1962 by proclaiming, as humans are dependent on their living environment, the environment's protection is inevitable. Carson begins with the description of an idyllic American town with beautiful plant and animal life, with abundant birds and fish, and with wildflowers, oaks, and maples. Thus drew admiration from travelers and delighted locals. Suddenly, a strange blight stroked the area. Birds were found dead, trembling violently. Inexplicable illness among both adults and children puzzled the town's doctors. Apple trees bloomed, but without bees to pollinate them, there were no fruits. The fairy tale villain was none other than the poisons that the humans created. Many of the changes Carson described had taken place over just the previous 25 years. Thus, the vibrancy of spring was replaced with stillness and silence. The spring became silent. During the Second World War, the scientists involved in the chemical warfare discovered many substances to kill enemies. So later, they were used as pesticides and insecticides to protect crops. But according to Carson, actually they were biocides, as they couldn't target unwanted pests and insects selectively. By spraying the pesticide over 885,000 of acres of woodland to kill the Bruce budworm, they also killed the natural predators of spider mites. Carson says that there are two groups of harmful synthetic pesticides: chlorinated hydrocarbons, including DDT, and organic phosphorus insecticides. Modern industry makes the chemicals without understanding its side effects. So all use them everywhere, all time. So all the people are surrounded by the elixirs of death throughout their lives, and they can't avoid exposure. Carson provides evidence of DDT in fish and birds that were not in the areas where the pesticides sprayed. Pesticides penetrated everywhere and in everything. Not only waterways, even underground water too has been contaminated, as they infiltrated and persisted in soils. Carson talks about the campaign to replace sagebrush with grassland in New England that caused the death of fish and loss of mammals that depended on the sage for food. Similarly, the campaign against Japanese beetles in Michigan resulted in many unintended victims, from dead birds to sick humans. Thus, the efforts to control pests actually removed the best controllers of pests than nature's own safeguards or policemen. Thus, Carson proves that when humans destroy nature, no doubt they destroy themselves. The chemicals that enter into the body damage the cell's production of energy. The genetic information in the cells too damaged that cause chromosomal damage and mutations. That is similar to put a crowbar into the spokes of a spinning wheel. Carson says that the insects are much better equipped to become resistant than humans. The scale insects have already developed resistance to lime sulfur. The houseflies, body lice, malaria spreading mosquitoes have also become resistant. So, according to her, humanity's use of weapons against pests and insects have turned into a war against the earth. So, either we have to stop the use of dangerous chemicals or exploring alternatives to those dangerous chemicals. One such a promising alternative is the male sterilization technique for insects control. Another is the use of lures or attractants. Using sound for insect control and using insects' natural enemies are also the other techniques. Thus, Carson has armed the reader with the ammunition of information and asks to speak out against the uncivilized and immoral acts. Otherwise, she warns that nature will take its course, striking back in unexpected ways.